A McMaster University student has created a book to teach children about COVID-19. Nicole Crimi joins us to tell us about Patty and the pandemic. Good morning. Hi, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Okay, so I understand you're a med student at Mac. What year are you in?
I'm in my second year.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, girl. Okay, so how do you go from being a med student to writing a book about the pandemic?
So before I was a med student, I was always an artist and I always loved writing a book. It's actually been one of my dreams since I was a little girl. So being a medical student and then being sent home from school when the pandemic first began, I was able to empathize with all of the kids, and it just seemed like a fun initiative to do to make a little bit of a difference in a time where, there wasn't much we could be doing since we were at home.
Absolutely, and it's funny how so many people came up with ideas while we had time, right, this year. So many things, so the way people have pivoted and changed. Now, I understand you were a little girl when SARS was first, in our community and in our world, and it sort of scared you a little bit, and you didn't know that much about it. So this also sort of led you to this book.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, during this time of SARS, I didn't really understand what that was, and that's part of that kind of lack of understanding and eagerness to know more in order to better be able to cope with different situations, especially difficult situations like a pandemic, was part of what made me want to be a medical student. So I thought that this would be an empowering initiative for kids, similarly to how medical school has been empowering for me.
Wow, it's like it's come full circle for you. So having the art background and the medical background, you've put together this amazing little book, and so all of the illustrations are your own as well. Let's take a look and tell me a little bit about the storyline.
So Patty and the Pandemic follows this little girl, Patty, through her journey of being just a normal little girl to all of a sudden this pandemic starting. And then it talks about how she learns what the virus is, how it spreads, what she would expect if she did get it. And then it goes into how exactly she should stay safe. And the great thing about this book, too, is that I did have it peer reviewed by a public health specialist, as well as another physician, Dr. Peter Adamson, in order to make sure that all of the information in the book is accurate and representative of what the goals are right now.
That's helpful. So at this point, I understand there's potentially a discussion with Premier Doug Ford, and that maybe we can get this book a little bit more widespread for you.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal. We're working on trying to get it distributed more in schools and hopefully in more child care centers around the cities, maybe even across the country.
That's good. So right now, if someone was looking for the book, would like to maybe use it within their school system, how can they get hold of it?
So you can get the book at pattyandthepandemic.org.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so now I understand you're also doing something with the proceeds as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so 100% of the profits are being donated to Face the Future Foundation, which gathers some of the world's leading physicians to go on mission trips to developing countries in order to provide life-saving and life-changing surgeries for kids who might not otherwise be able to access them. So this whole initiative is really just a pay it forward kind of thing. By purchasing a book, you're not only helping your own health and your peers' health, but also the health of someone possibly across the globe.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. Now, do you have any ideas, any thoughts maybe to doing another book in the future?
We'll have to see. It's definitely something that I would be interested in.
Yeah, so you feel obviously proud of this. We look at those illustrations. They're amazing. I'd love to see the book in person. It looks fantastic. You must be so excited to see the final product.
Yeah, it's definitely been incredibly rewarding. As an artist, all that I want is to be able to share my work with the world and to be able to touch people on a personal level. So seeing kids actually holding the book and sending me videos of them reading it really just makes my day every time.
Absolutely. All right, Nicole Crimi, thank you so much. Patty and the Pandemic. We hope to see this book out in all of our the school systems. This is great for kids. She's wearing her mask. Good girl. And best of luck to you with your studies as well, Nicole.
Thank you so much.